Good afternoon. My name is Edward Sanshin Oberholtzer. I'm the resident priest and guiding teacher here at the Joseph Priestley Zen Sangha in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. We're an affiliate of Empty Moon Zen. Outside the rather limited world of Zen postings, I've finally found a use for Facebook, a place I like to go. A group known as the Sinister, Icy Black Hand of Death Club, which, as you might gather from its name, posts a continual stream of Bill Watterson's masterpiece, Calvin and Hobbes. I can't adequately retell one of my favorites without butchering it. Suffice it to say that Calvin's father pulls an elaborate ruse on the kid involving when the world switched from black and white to color, and leading to the final panel where Calvin says to a relaxed and nearly asleep Hobbes stretched out on a branch, "The world is a complicated place, Hobbes." And Hobbes, without opening his eyes, says, "Whenever it seems that way, I take a nap in a tree and wait for dinner." Excellent advice. Equal to anything you might find on a Zen site. And I can't help but note that as I typed these words, I did it with my fingers dodging a flicking cattail, seemingly asleep beside me. Hobbes often seems to know it, an it that just as often eludes Calvin. Don Juan had his finger on it, where in the Book of Serenity, in case 69, he said simply, while addressing the assembly, "All the Buddhas of past, present, and future don't know it, but cats and cows know it." Yes, when life seems complex, my cat curls up and takes a nap. He knows that dinner is right around the corner, that mice and chipmunks lurk in the herb garden, waiting to be caught, that scratching an itch is the greatest of all pleasures. Layman Pang, who should have been a cat, said, "When I'm hungry, I eat. When I'm tired, I sleep." I once came out of a wooded path into the sunlight of a pasture in southern Massachusetts and found myself face to face with a Holstein cow. Its eyes were ebony orbs, seemingly all iris, and as I gazed into them, wondering what it was like to be a cow, not to be me looking out of that cow's eyes, but to be a cow, I realized just this: grass, sunlight, sleep. Grass, sunlight, sleep. How many of us remember carnation milks from the contented cow? Yes, cats and cows know it. John Gray, the English philosopher, pays no attention to cows, but has written an entire book on feline philosophy. His cats tell us to sleep for the joy of sleeping. As Gray puts it, sleeping so that you can work harder when you wake up is a miserable way to live. My cat, whose name, by the way, is also Hobbes, my cat is anything but miserable. Those of us who have followed the koan path know of a mundane form of despair, not the struggling to find our way into the koan, but simply struggling to remember the koan. They're not all, "Show me the sound of the single hand. Boom. Stop that distant temple bell. Boom." No, some go on forever. And trying to memorize them so that you can do that initial presentation can really seem impossible. When I found myself practicing with David Weinstein out in Oakland, I mentioned this, probably by way of complaint, and his response was that he actually appreciated the mistakes. Sometimes they gave him insight into where the student was. So I was intrigued to find that the translation of this particular koan by John Tarrant and Joan Sutherland has Nangquan say, all the Buddhas of past, present, and future do not know it really is. Instead, the badger and fox know it really is. Not cats and cows, foxes and badgers. The fox, for me, immediately brings up that crucial and, as it happens, interminably long case 2 of The Gateless Gate by Zhang and the fox. It reminds us that the fox is a trickster figure, the familiar of witches in Asian cultures. But badgers? It's often been pointed out that European badgers have a different reputation from their American cousins. The European badger is a more gentlemanly sort, found in the wind and the willows, while American badgers are something you wouldn't want to meet in a dark alley, with the possible exception of Russell Hoban's Francis the Badger of children's book fame. I'm sure it's not a mistake, but I'm left wondering which is more particular about this very moment, about dinner, about naps, the fox and badger, or the cat and cow? But we've left the Buddhas of past, present, and future waiting by the side of the road as cats, cows, foxes, and badgers loll about, waiting for dinner. Just what is it, then, that the Buddhas of the 3 times don't know? Jizo understood this, in that case also from the Book of Serenity. Jizo asked Hogan, "Where are you going?" Hogan said, "I am wandering aimlessly." What do you think of wandering? I don't know. Not knowing is most intimate. Hogan was suddenly enlightened. The Buddhas of past, present, and future, Jizo, and if a beat later, Hogan, all intimate, all not knowing. This not knowing, this great cloud of unknowing, opens us to our own nature and does so in the midst of all that particularity. Hogan wandered aimlessly, not knowing, and yet, like the fox, like the badger, he knew the rocks and pebbles on his pilgrimage path. He felt the sun on his back, knew the growling of his stomach as mealtime approached, and, I'll bet, napped when he was tired. Cats, cows, foxes, badgers, and Hobbes. Let's not forget Hobbes. Naps, dinner, scratches, mice, sunlight, and pastures. The 10,000 things, the 100 grasses. The Buddhas of past, present, and future, most intimate in their not knowing. Like Dogen, we let those 10,000 things come to us, awakening us in their particularity, not knowing and knowing, form and emptiness, 2 sides of the one coin. 2 sides are the one coin. So wake up, take a nap. Thank you.